welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. So as per usual, the timestamps will be in the description bar below as well as the comments. So let's just get started here. Okay. So starting off with Aries, the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Death card. Some of you could be thinking of a Scorpio, potentially another Aries like yourself. It seems to me that there has been a shift in this dynamic, or even a shift in perspective here, but there may be something that this person wants to own up to, or there's something here that they want to take accountability for. I can also read this as someone who is viewing you as reclaiming your power in a situation, right? Whether it's you are very upfront or blunt about how you feel, or some sort of a change that you want to see here, but they are viewing you in a very action-oriented energy. Okay, so how is this person feeling about Aries? The Seven of Cups, okay. I feel like there's a lot of emotional confusion here, especially for the Seven of Cups to be the first card in their feelings. Whether it's trying to figure out how you feel, whether it's feeling like they have a lot of questions about this connection or the current dynamic, I'm strongly getting someone who feels very confused. They're trying to make sense of something, emotionally and mentally, but they're only ending up in a space where they're, met with more questions here, okay? Seven of Cups could also be someone who there's something about the situation that they don't trust entirely, or they're still in the process of viewing their options. And if it's not about, keeping their options open, it could be someone who's analyzing the situation with you, but they are seeing how things could play out, or they are envisioning different potential outcomes here. Okay, Judgment. Heavy Scorpion energy. But I also feel like with the Death card, there definitely has been a shift in perspective. There could even be some sort of a change in this person's personal environment that they're wanting to bring to the forefront. There is an energy of feeling more free. So there could be something that this person has released, or if there's another situation or something else at hand that they felt very entitled to, it could be that they're letting go of that or moving away from that. But the word that I'm getting is free. So someone feeling more free to pursue something with you, definitely feeling more courageous as well. Five of Cups is someone who is dwelling in some sort of a past mistake. It's usually when you are focused on spilled milk. And so with the Seven of Cups and the Five of Cups, as much as there is a change that this person is going through in the current moment, they could be confused about something that transpired between the both of you in the past, or they could be regretting it, kind of like, I wish I communicated something differently, or I wish I was more clear about my intentions or emotions here. And yes, it's someone who is going through a transition, but I think they're in this space where they're letting go of what no longer serves them, and they're wanting to create something new with you, but they're still feeling a little bit of both. Right? So energy pertaining to the future, but also something of the past could be causing them to backtrack a little, or it's just something that is still impacting them emotionally. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Lovers. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini, but this is someone who's viewing you as a soulmate, someone who feels like they've met you for a reason. And the Page of Pentacles could be a phone call, a message, this person reaching out to you. Some of you could be communicating with them as you're watching my read. But what I see here with the Lovers clarifying the Judgment is they're having a full circle moment. The confusion that they're facing is not going to last. You know, they're receiving clarity on maybe why they feel so connected to you. It's someone who's trying to make sense of their emotions. And even if it starts off in a space where they feel very confused, they are receiving clarity with the Lovers and the Judgment. It may not be clarity that they receive overnight, but I do see that coming in for them. Page of Swords. Could also be someone who's very curious about you this week, but Page of Swords is usually either watching from afar or trying to attain some sort of information about you, but not directly from you, right? So it's a bit of an indirect energy here. So even if they're communicating with you, there are certain things that they're trying to figure out, but they're not directly asking you those questions. And that could also be the reason why the Seven of Cups is the first card in their feelings, spending more time trying to figure something out on their own as opposed to communicating it, which could lead to just having more questions here. I also feel that what's interesting is this is someone who feels very connected to you, Aries, with the Lovers, but with the Page of Swords, it's almost like intuitively they feel they need to keep some sort of distance here, even if it's for the time being. And the Page of Swords is clarifying the Five of Cups. So this could be pertaining to the past where it's like, I'm not proud of something that occurred in the past, or I'm not proud of, you know, the way that I spoke to Aries in the past. So I am going to speak to Aries in the current moment, but I'm also going to, you know, take my time to, you know, there could be a barrier here that they know they need to break down or they need to regain your trust. So there's something about taking time with how they're approaching the situation as well. Three of Cups. I think that this person wants to spend more quality time with you. Three of Cups could also be something that they're celebrating and they're inviting you to that very thing. It could even be like something that they've recently accomplished. And I was sensing that with the Judgment. They want you to be, you know, they want the changes that they've made to be visible to you. And I really feel like for many of you, there's something that they've let go of or a situation that was very draining for them. It has, you know, that's where the change has taken place in their life. The Fool card. So this is someone who's wanting a new beginning. This is someone who's wanting a fresh start, like turning over a new leaf, leaving the past behind. But what I will say that is that this is a week where they're still focusing on the past to heal from it. And of course, even when you're healing from the past, it's not something that's going to happen within a day or 2 days or even a week, right? But even though they're in the process of it, I do see that the larger goal at hand here is to have a new start. Eight of Cups. Yeah. And this is what I was saying. They're walking away from what no longer serves them. Eight of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. In order to have a new beginning here, in order to create something stable with you. This could be bad habits. This could be an old job. This could be someone who's moving closer to you. An Eight of Cups could also just be someone who's walking away from an old approach. Like, for example, if there's like a pattern in this connection or something has always progressed in a similar manner between the both of you, there's a shift in perspective of, okay, well, I need to do things differently, or here's how I'm going to approach the situation now. They're starting to understand why things were not stable between the both of you in the past, and they're making, you know, the changes or acting accordingly here. And they want to offer you something that you would want to accept, something that seems stable to you as well. And I'm also getting a strong energy of someone who has a plan this time around. So I don't want to say that they were winging it in the past, but I do believe that this is a connection that wasn't necessarily built on stable grounds to begin with. And so I could read it as a false start, but there's, you know, an extreme desire to have something stable with you this time around. But they feel like it requires them to walk away from another situation or walk away or approach things differently, right? Maybe they can't communicate with you the same way, right? Maybe in the past they were very inconsistent and they're walking away from that to show you, okay, I am invested, or I do want to work towards something more here. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Moon card on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be thinking of a Pisces, and we have the Ten of Wands. Something feels very energetically heavy for this person this week, Taurus. With the moon and the Ten of Wands, that could be some sort of like an emotional burden that they're carrying. But what's interesting with the moon card is like it's a very discreet or hidden energy. So this may be someone that there's a lack of communication between the both of you. Or if this is someone who's speaking to you, there's a lot that is going on for them emotionally that they're keeping behind closed doors. But initially, what I was getting here with the moon as well as the Ten of Wands is someone who feels like it's a very heavy energy that they're feeling. Or there's something that feels very burden, like it's burdening them, but they're still holding on to it with the Ten of Wands. Okay. How is this person feeling about Taurus? The Knight of Wands. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of attraction here. And this could even be speedy communication, like someone who is speaking to you or starting a conversation with you, and it could be very unexpected. But the Knight of Wands is usually also a very impulsive energy, right? So, for example, this person could be thinking of you and they just, kind of reach out to you in the spur of the moment. So it's not really an energy with a plan. It's kind of like, this is how I'm feeling in the current moment. And so this is what I'm going to say to Taurus, or this is what I'm going to do. Page of Cups. There may be an age gap between you and this person or children in this dynamic. But with the Page of Cups, I see someone admiring you for who you are, the way that you carry yourself, and there's a lot of hope and faith here. But what's interesting is, as much as this person's holding on to some sort of hope or faith of connecting with you, I think that there is more going on for them emotionally that they're not bringing to the forefront. So either you're dealing with someone who struggles to speak about maybe difficult things that they face, or there's like a consistent internal battle that this person has when it comes to this connection that they're not necessarily being open about. I think this person has a connection on their mind, definitely a higher level of commitment. But the Four of Wands could also touch on like accomplishments or milestones here. So there could be something that they want to share with you as well in terms of, a goal that they've attained or a milestone that they've reached here. But I'm strongly getting, guys, like you have someone who feels almost an urgency to create something more with you. What you guys currently have doesn't feel like it's enough. And I don't mean that in a way where this person, because what I see is someone who feels emotionally connected to you, but they're wanting to build something with you, or they're wanting something to feel more tangible between the both of you. Ten of Cups, yeah. This is someone who's viewing you as their end-all be-all. When they think of who they want to spend their life with, when they think about a family dynamic, when they think about, future goals or who they want to share their journey with, you are who comes to mind. There's a very safe energy here, Taurus. This is someone who feels like you have a very comforting energy about you as well. Yeah. Eight of Wands, which is a card of communication. And with the Knight of Wands being the first card in their feelings, I did mention that there's unexpected communication, right? And this could be something, of course, that is very, like you don't expect it. It's very fast moving, but I think that it stems from a place of feeling some sort of urgency. So even if this is someone who was secretive with you, or they were suppressing their emotions with the Moon card, I think that they're tired of doing that. I think that they really want you to know how they feel towards you, and furthermore, they want to build something stable here. Eight of Wands could also be a card of travel. So if there is physical distance between you and this person, it could be someone who's making some sort of travel plans this week. Wow, so we have the Four of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. What's the Ten of Cups? The Nine of Cups. Viewing you as wish fulfillment. But I will say, Taurus, that there's something here that this person may feel, or the best way for me to boil down this energy with the Nine of Cups and Ten of Cups is Yes, they're acknowledging that you are someone that makes them very happy. Yes, they are acknowledging that they want something long-term with you. But as they're acknowledging that, I think something else that is being illuminated to them is something that they need to work on within themselves. Because a Nine of Cups could also be a very independent energy, or when you're pouring into yourself. Like there may be a part of this person that they feel like they've neglected, or there is an internal battle or something going on for them mentally that they want to let go of or release in order to, have a stable and successful connection with you. Six of Wands. Really wanting a successful outcome here. Six of Wands is wanting something to work out. It's success, it's victory, it's harmony, right? And with the Nine of Cups and the Six of Wands, I genuinely feel like this is someone who's doing something to grab your attention this week. And yes, I do see them communicating with you, but there's a strong energy of wanting to stand out or prove themselves to you. Definitely could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So this is an incoming love offer, something that you possibly don't expect. But this is someone who feels like they can no longer hold back. It's a very, I feel a lot of urgency in their energy is the best way for me to, put it. The Knight of Cups, the Justice card. This could also be someone who is making something right or making something up to you. You could be thinking of a Libra. But the Justice card is usually someone who is doing something the right way. And when you have the Ten of Pentacles and the Justice card with the Four of Wands, it could be symbolic for a higher level of commitment or marriage here. The Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. So you could have been connecting with this person when they were feeling confused or when they were confused in another situation. Because as much as we have all these cards of commitment, one thing that wasn't making, sense to me is a Justice as well as the Ten of Pentacles coming out with the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups here. And now we have the Seven of Cups, which is why I clarified. I feel like this is someone who could have been confused in the past, whether it be because they were in another connection or another situation, but they're receiving clarity and they're wanting to do something the right way or do the right thing in the now. And I see a lot of back and forth communication between you and this person. And Taurus, I will say that this could be someone who, if it's not about, feeling entitled to another situation or being confused, this could be someone who is connecting with you, but they were also keeping their options open. And so now they're receiving clarity on what they want, which is a connection with you. So it could be someone who's making it very clear that they're only focused on you, or something is becoming exclusive between the both of you. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini. So let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay. So we have the Two of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Three of Wands. It seems to me, Gemini, that someone is, when they're thinking about the connection with you this week, they're like weighing the pros and cons of the situation, or they're trying to figure out what, like an approach here. The Two of Pentacles is like a little bit of a back and forth energy, but it could also be someone who is kind of trying to maintain a lot at once. And so they're trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to continue investing in? What do I need to, release or let go of? Because they want to feel more stable within this connection. The Three of Wands could be a card of distance, but it's also a card of, planning and direction. And I feel like this person knows what direction they want to go in, but they could be in the midst of releasing something or trying their best to not. It almost seems to me that they have so much that they're trying to maintain at once, and they're trying to let go of something so they can go in the direction that they desire. For example, if this person has, other responsibilities, that could be in the way of this connection. So it could be trying to, work their way to a place where they don't have so many responsibilities at once, or they're asking for some sort of assistance here. Okay. How does this person feel about Gemini? the Four of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Something feels conflicting to this person. And what's interesting, Gemini, is they're in their energy. What's coming through is, I know the direction I want to go in, but I don't know if I can fully act on how I feel in the current moment. Five of Wands, I mean, this could be external influences. This could be something else that's in the way. But for many of you, I feel like there's specifically something pertaining to this person's responsibilities. For example, if they have, if they're working two different jobs, right? Maybe they're trying to make time for this connection, but they're like, okay, well, I'm not financially stable enough to let go of a job or my second job, right? It seems to me that they want to act on their emotions, but when they look at their reality, they feel very bombarded by their responsibilities. They feel very caught up with what they have to do, where they may even feel like they're neglecting the connection with you. And they are thinking a lot about this, but in silence. So it could be something that's brewing and bothering them mentally, that they're not making enough time, or they're unable to act on how they truly feel. But I don't think that they're communicating that to you. I think that they're keeping it to themselves. I'm also getting a strong energy here, Gemini, where like this person could feel like what they're going through is their issue or something that they need to work through, and they don't want to drag you into it. Okay, the Death card. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio, but this person knows that something needs to change. If something does not change within their environment, within themselves, then there's not going to be a shift in this dynamic here. The Death card could be symbolic for something that you need to let go of, but it's usually very difficult, whether it's because there's history there or it's something that's very like deeply embedded in you. So this person feels like, I know what I need to change, but it doesn't change the fact that it still feels very difficult to do. For some of you, this person feels like connecting with you or being in a connection with you is going to require them to leave their comfort zone. And so that's why there could be a little bit of a hesitant energy. Ten of Swords. This could be an energy of, betrayal, or feeling like there was a very painful ending that they've had to go through and they're still mentally impacted by it. But I also feel with the Ten of Swords clarifying the Four of Swords, they're healing from this. Even if it was difficulties or obstacles, it doesn't necessarily mean that these obstacles include you or it's pertaining to this connection with you, but they're healing aspects of themselves. They're letting go of things mentally. And I think with the Five of Wands and the Death card, what they're specifically acknowledging this week is this is what I need to let go of, or this is what I need to change in order to, pursue a connection with Gemini. But the thing that I will say is it doesn't feel easy at all. It's something that they're struggling with. Ace of Swords. This is clarity on their environment. What is working, right? What is not working? Is there someone that is, hindering this, connection here? Is there something that's in the way? Is there something I need to do differently, right? Ace of Swords, it's a very truthful energy. It's where they are being met with the truth and they can no longer run from it or avoid it. I also think that with the Ace of Swords, they're praying for a breakthrough. There could be something that they feel a little bit hopeless about, but it could be someone who's surrendering and saying, okay, just let me know what I need to do next. Or I'm feeling powerless, so I'm just going to, release control, or I'm going to not pretend like everything is okay when internally there's more going on. Six of Pentacles, wanting to invest in this connection with you. This card could also be like a generous act, that sort of thing. But what's interesting is the Six of Pentacles is also a card of responsibility. There's either, for example, guys, like if this person is a caregiver, right? And there's a family member that they have to take care of, but they also have to, live their own life and work a job, et cetera, et cetera. They're feeling very drained by a situation that they feel entitled to, a situation that they're still giving to as you're watching my read. And so the clarity that's coming in is, is giving to the situation benefiting you, or is it bringing you down? And I think this person is acknowledging that it's bringing them down, but the transition still feels very difficult for them, is the best way for me to explain it. Nine of Pentacles. This person could also be very focused on their own stability. If they're in a situation where there are codependency issues, they are trying to separate themselves from that equation there. And Nine of Pentacles is also pouring into yourself. So if this person feels some sort of like an aspect of their life that they've neglected, or they feel like all their decisions are based off of those around them with the Five of Wands, kind of like I take everyone else's opinions and feelings into consideration, but what makes me happy? And if it's choosing Gemini or going in the direction of pursuing a connection with Gemini, then what do I need to do differently in order to attain that? You may be dealing with someone who's very used to putting themselves on the back burner, or it's someone who's easily influenced by the opinion of others. And so there's a huge energetic shift going on for this person internally. The Temperance, wanting to make peace here, wanting something to work out between the both of you. This is also a card of like a spiritual lesson, right? And so the Temperance clarifying the Ace of Swords is someone realizing, sure, I can keep, living my life being, worrying about pleasing those around me, but I'm not truly happy. What do I want? And that's the clarity that they're receiving this week. And that's the lesson here. Five of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Needing to leave someone or something behind here. With the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, guys, this could also just be coming out of a mentality of lack. Five of Pentacles, yes, it could be read as some sort of financial constraints or struggles, but I'm strongly feeling like this is an energy of someone coming out of a mentality of lack. Choosing the path that they want and not being influenced by others. This could also be someone who really cares about their image or how others perceive them, which is what they're letting go of, or they're in the process of that. I also feel like with the Three of Cups, this person could be speaking to you about, or speaking about you to mutual friends, or it's like something to do with like a social circle and going to them for some form of advice here. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles and the World card. The number 42 could be of significance for some of you, or the number 6. What's interesting here, Cancer, is that someone feels very close to you, but there's either physical distance between the both of you, or it's someone who feels very close to you despite some sort of distance, even if it's emotional. When I see the Two of Pentacles in the World card, it's someone who's going back and forth, right? And it's like, do I accept a situation for what it is and let it go? Or am I ready for a change and I want to turn over a new leaf here? It's a bit of an indecisive energy that I see with the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Like feeling connected to you or feeling close to you despite the distance is the message that I was initially getting. How is this person feeling about Cancer? Okay. The Hierophant. Some of you could be thinking of a Taurus or a Leo with the Strength card. Someone here could be a teacher, Cancer. Okay. So whether it's the person you're, thinking of here, whether it's you. But what I'm getting here, guys, is like, I'm getting a couple of messages, but let's start off with the one where someone is remaining held back, or their energy is very withdrawn, but they're still very concerned about you or feeling very connected to you. Like there's still a lot of emotions here. I could read this as someone who is committed elsewhere, or they have commitments where they are worried about how others are going to perceive them. It's a very hidden energy here, Cancer. Yes, it's someone who feels connected to you, but it's very indirect. It's not someone who's being open with you. It could be someone who feels like they're unable to fully act on how they feel. And it's taking everything in them to remain withdrawn, because the Strength touches on very deep emotions, but it's emotions that you're not willing to express. You're, choosing to suppress them, or, you're acknowledging them, but you're not wanting to speak on them here. The Seven of Swords. There could be something that this person is feeling guilty about, because the Seven of Swords could be read as like a guilty conscience or someone who is aware that they have been doing something sneaky behind your back. But the Seven of Swords could also touch on some sort of strategy, like whether it's this person wants to come forward and connect with you, but, there's some sort of strategy behind their communication here. And I will say, Cancer, I can also read it another way where this person may feel like you are connected elsewhere or you are connecting with someone new. And even if they don't have any solid proof, that could be something that they're feeling a little bit suspicious about. Now, I'm not saying that's the truth, Cancer, but I'm just reading what's going on in their feelings and giving you different scenarios. The Emperor. I feel like this could be someone who's in the public eye, or at least they have an image to maintain. Right? And they really do care about the way that they are perceived by others. Even if it's someone who is just known in their, community, it doesn't have to be anything, huge or someone who's, extremely famous. But there's a very strong energy of I want to act on my feelings, but they're not feeling comfortable with doing that. So either they feel guilty or there's something that feels very tempting about the situation with you, but specifically this week they're, holding themselves back or not trying their best not to feed into that impulse kind of emotion of reaching out to you or connecting with you. The Knight of Swords. What's the Seven of Swords? The Chariot, which is your energy. This could be someone who feels like you're moving forward from a situation that you don't trust, and they don't know what to say or what to do to kind of stop you from doing that. And I'm strongly getting, Cancer, like this person either feels like you are connecting with someone else or you are moving towards something better than this situation here. Even if you are focused on yourself, even if you are focused on your career or whatever it is, there's a very suspicious energy here. There's a very, I wonder what Cancer is up to, or if they're connecting with someone new. This could be someone who knows that they were unable or they were not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated in the past, but there's like a guilty conscience of that, which furthermore leads to, well, is Cancer with someone who is giving them the world? Is Cancer connecting with someone, or are they connecting elsewhere where they're genuinely happy? Because they're viewing you as moving forward. And the Chariot is usually forward movement after some form of acceptance. So even if you did try time and time again with this person, they feel like you've given up on this connection or you're not willing to try again. You kind of just have accepted the situation for what it is and you're choosing to move forward here. The Emperor, the King of Wands. This is someone who's still highly attracted to you. I think they admire your confidence. And what's interesting, guys, is like this is like someone with strong emotions, a lot of passion for you, but they're telling themselves, no, remain held back. It's not the time to reach out. Or, this could even, like the Emperor could be someone who quite literally struggles with emotional intimacy and opening up about their emotions. It could be someone who comes off kind of like poker face or very nonchalant, but there's obviously more that's going on that they're not revealing to you. Two of Cups. This person still feels very connected to you. They feel like they're still in love with you. And the Two of Cups touches on listening to your higher self. So even though they're feeling pulled in your direction or to communicate with you, they're fighting this emotion or feeling here. There's a lot of resistance. Yes, there's a message coming through, or yes, they're feeling guided in your direction, but there's a lot of resistance within that energy. It's not someone who's like, okay, this is what I'm being told to do, or this is what I think I should do, and they're accepting it. They're almost fighting that emotion or feeling here. Chariot, Three of Swords. They feel very hurt. They feel very broken. They may even feel like they've caused a great deal of pain for you. Three of Swords, Nine of Wands. But they are viewing you as guarded, not trusting this situation, or they feel like if they were to connect with you, you wouldn't necessarily open up to them. Some of you may have this person blocked, or there's a lack of access to you. So if you physically relocated, or maybe, you blocked this person where they're wanting to communicate with you, but they don't have a way to get through to you. And for others of you, if you don't have this person blocked and they have a way of communicating with you, it could be more of, I don't know how I'm going to get through to Cancer, or I don't know what I'm going to say to convince them that, this is how I feel. But this is someone who feels like you're You don't really know how strongly they feel towards you, but they also know it's because they're withdrawn. You may know that this person has emotions for you, but I don't think you know the depths of their emotions because it's a very discreet energy, or it's someone who feels like they haven't fully expressed the impact that you have on their life. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo. So let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay. Okay, guys, so we have the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And it says, or it reads, the truth is out there and trust the process. Someone could feel like a truth could have been revealed, but someone could feel a lot of shame surrounding that truth, or it's an energy of feeling very like exposed and stressed out about it. Wheel of Fortune. This truth could have, caused a shift in this dynamic, or it's leaving someone at a point where they feel like they're at a fork in the road. Like, okay, Leo now knows this, or I now know this about this connection, but where am I going to go from here? And they're in the process of choosing a direction or making a choice. But I think that this is someone who's feeling very, very anxious. They're overthinking the situation. There's a lot that they're analyzing here. And I think that a lot doesn't make sense to them in the current moment. Okay. How does this person feel about Leo? Okay. Page of Wands. So this could be a message, like an incoming message or a phone call. And then we have the Lovers. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. So it's someone who's feeling very connected to you, okay? But they're trying to make sense of their emotions, or they're wondering what the future holds. Like there's an energy of where do we go from here, or what's going to happen moving forward. I'm also picking up on an energy of someone who's in like the midst of a transformation, right? And that's what I was saying with the Wheel of Fortune there as well. But with the Nine of Swords, there could be some sort of resistance when it comes to accepting their new reality, or it's someone who's like, okay, I need to choose a direction, I need to make a choice, but there's a very anxious or worrisome energy associated with that decision. And the Lovers, even though it does touch on like a soulmate energy or someone who feels very like deeply connected to you, it does boil down to needing to make a life-altering decision. Choosing to pursue a connection with you could somehow impact other areas of their life as well. King of Swords. I think this person is in this like kind of like a problem-solving energy. I want to get to the bottom of what's, no longer working. They're being very honest with themselves. And the King of Swords is like when you're operating from a very logical space. So I'm not saying that there aren't emotions involved, but I am saying that they're being very truthful with themselves and looking at the situation from more of a logical perspective and not just with their emotions or from their heart space. King of Swords could also be read as someone who has recently went through a breakup, right? Or a divorce. So for some of you, if you're in separation with this person, what they're thinking about is, I want something to change. I want to head in a new direction with Leo, but it's going to require me to make this important decision that I'm stalling on because it's stressing me out. 10 of Wands. Something could have, began to feel very burdensome between the both of you. Like the 10 of Wands is usually an ending after things become one-sided, or like a decrease in effort. So this person could feel like this is a connection that they were once invested in, but something about it could have felt very kind of like, okay, something is not working between me, Leo and I, but we continue to do it anyways. Or a lack of change where you're looking at a situation and saying, is it really worth the investment here? But I do see that they're letting go of what feels, burdensome. Or it's someone who knows that things were one-sided in this connection and they're wanting to change that in the current energy. And there's a lot of like emotional baggage that this person is holding on to. There's a lot that they're having a hard time letting go of. This could be sorrow, this could be guilt, this could be shame, right? There's a lot that they're like over, like it's their, yes, there's a lot that they're thinking about this week, but I'm getting an energy of like overthinking and over analyzing. The Ace of Wands. So a desire to create something new here. They still feel this magnetic pull towards you with the Ace of Wands and the Lovers. There's a lot of passion here when it comes to you, when it comes to this connection. Queen of Wands, wow. A lot of attraction. And I think that this person wants to make it clear. Now, here's what I see, guys. There may be like a part of this person that feels like you guys are in two very different places in your lives, or they could view you as someone who is a tad bit more established than them in one way or another. For some of you, it's an age gap, right? I want to offer Leo, something that they would want to invest in, but how do I contribute to Leo's life where they will actually accept this offer? I don't want to say that they feel less than, but there could be something about wanting to meet you halfway or wanting to meet you where you are currently. Seven of Pentacles, yeah. This is basically looking at a situation and saying, okay, these are the things that did work between Leo and I, but it's also an energy of acknowledging where there's room for improvement. This is someone who's having a hard time giving up on this connection because of the history that you guys share. And they do feel like they invested a lot of time and energy as well. But moving forward, they feel like they need to alter something or do something differently. And that's what they're analyzing. They're also hoping that when they make these changes, things are going to be different between the both of you. Because the Seven of Pentacles also boils down to knowing what you need to do, but looking at the situation and saying, is it going to be worth the investment? Am I going to see the necessary changes? Is it going to work out the way that I want it to? Or am I getting ahead of myself? It's a very realistic energy or approach here. Four of Wands. What they're wanting is reconnection, reconciliation. I think that this is someone who does have a higher level of commitment on their mind, hence why they're not giving up or they want to try again. But for the Lovers to be in the middle there, I strongly feel like the decision that they need to make is what they're mainly concerned about this week. If it's someone who needs to move closer, it's like, okay, I need to create a plan. If it's someone who needs to fully accept something about themselves and maybe let an old version of themselves go, that's something that they're accepting. But I do feel like it's a lot of thinking going on, and I think they're very up in their mind about this decision as well. Nine of Wands. What's the Nine of Wands? The Three of Pentacles. They feel like you're guarded towards them, or I could be picking up on some sort of distance, but despite that, they're still wanting to work something out with you. Three of Pentacles is someone who really wants to come to a mutual agreement here. But the Nine of Wands could be, I know that there's a barrier, or I know that Leo doesn't currently trust me, and it's going to take time for me to, fully regain Leo's trust. They may even view you as someone who's doing more listening than speaking this week. So even if they're connecting with you, it could be that maybe you are speaking to them, but you're taking your time with responding, or you are letting them kind of speak to you, but you're not really expressing much about what's going on when it comes to your emotions or, your take on what's occurring here. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Virgo. Okay. Virgo. So let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck and the Devil. Some of you could be dealing with the Capricorn. Virgo, if you are random, like if you clicked on my reading, right, because you've been thinking about someone from your past very randomly, or you've been feeling their energy like very, very heavily this week, I can see why. Nine of Swords, the Devil, definitely, this is someone who's tugging on your energy this week, Virgo. I also strongly feel like it's someone who can't get you off their mind. There's some sort of obsessive thoughts that they're feeling, that they're thinking. And with the devil, it could be that there's some sort of an unhealthy attachment here, or a toxic pattern that this person feels very, um, like a toxic pattern that they're struggling to let go of. This could even be someone who's trying to run from their thoughts, or they've tried their best to avoid thinking about you. But I think that this week specifically, like they're either just constantly thinking about you, or there's a specific situation, right, that occurred between the both of you that they're constantly revisiting. And I feel like you are feeling this energetic pull. This could also, when someone's tugging on your energy, it's not necessarily, it doesn't always have to be that you're randomly thinking about them. For some of you, it could be where you don't feel like yourself, or you're feeling extremely lethargic, right? Maybe you're not enjoying the things that you usually do. Like it happens differently for everyone energetically, but I strongly feel like in one way or another, you're able to tell that this person is thinking of you very heavily. Okay. How is this person feeling about Virgo? For some of you, this person, they're viewing you as someone that they will always feel connected to. I mean, I could pick up on maybe there is something that you guys share together, like maybe you guys have a business together, okay? Maybe there's like shared assets, or you guys have children together, but they feel like you are someone that they will always feel connected to. So if it's not something in the material realm, again, it's just like this, almost like this energetic cord that they feel. Okay, the Eight of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Okay. Here's what I'm getting, Virgo. This is very specific, right? But it's what I'm getting, so I'm going to say it. With the Eight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, you have someone here who is able to adapt to, how do I want to word this? They're easily able to adapt to the absence of others, okay? But something about you, or the connection with you, is really impacting them. This is someone who could have felt or been very nonchalant when you were walking away, or something didn't work out between the both of you, but it's impacting them quite a bit here. And it's something that they're not used to. For example, if you and this person have had a disagreement, and with the Eight of Cups, that's usually walking away from a situation or detaching. And even if you were not the one to walk away, it could have been them as well, right? This is not about the blame game. What I'm picking up on is someone who feels that they thought they would be okay with an ending, or they thought that they would be okay when it comes to completely emotionally detaching here, but it's basically like they feel the opposite. King of Swords. So this is someone who feels like, this could be someone you're in a separation with, or someone who feels like you cut ties with them. But I'm getting a strong energy of maybe, like, even if they, initiated this ending, right? They feel they made the wrong decision. They thought being apart from you was not going to impact them. So basically, said all this to say, I think that your absence is heavily impacting them, or losing you is what they needed in order to realize what they actually wanted, or what they had in front of them. Because what I'm sensing right now is your silence is very, very loud. And Knight of Wands, that could be someone who's very adventurous, someone who's very impulsive. It could be read as someone who's in like a player-like energy. But something about your energy, or the connection that they have with you, has impacted them much more than any other connection that they've experienced. Hence why they're still focused on you. And what's interesting is they did not expect to feel this way, because they are not used to this. They usually are able to adapt to changes or walk away, or it could even be someone who's in a non-committal energy. But now it's like, okay, I'm apart from Virgo, but I'm still thinking about Virgo though. I'm missing Virgo. It's still impacting me on a mental level. It could be someone who's keeping like a poker face, or not showing you much emotion on the outside, but they're a lot more concerned or bothered internally than what they're showing you. Eight of Cups is being clarified by the Four of Wands. So this could be someone who stepped out on a connection, or chose not to commit when they had the opportunity to do so. What this person is realizing is what you guys could have had together. And there could have been a disagreement that's, happened very recently as well for some of you, where they're constantly revisiting it. They're constantly stressed about, this is what I could have had, but now I feel like it's a major loss. And there's also a very anxious energy. So whether it's like rethinking a situation and that's what's causing them to feel anxious, or it's like, I don't know what's going to happen next, or I actually don't know if there's a future here, and that's driving me up a wall. You have someone here who thought a separation would be much more easier to handle than what they're currently facing. That's pretty much what I'm getting here. Knight of Pentacles. Thinking about things thoroughly. There could be a very, very stagnant energy between you and this person this week where you're kind of like, okay, there's a lack of progress. I don't see much movement here. And Knight of Pentacles to, the Knight of Wands is two very different energies. Like some of you have a very inconsistent or non-committal individual thinking about a commitment. Like connecting with you could have changed this person's perspective on love or what they wanted. Even if you were connecting with this person and it was casual, or they would tell you things like, I don't really want a commitment, or I just kind of want to take things one day at a time, or I just want to go with the flow. There's a lot that's changing for them mentally and emotionally. And I think it really did take a separation or not having access to you for this person to realize the value of your presence or what you bring to the table here. The Chariot. Some of you could be dealing with a Cancer. It seems to me that they're viewing you as moving forward because you've accepted a situation for what it is, and you feel like you weren't seeing the necessary changes. So they feel like you tried your best to work something out or be patient, but you've gotten to a point where it's like, okay, well, I don't see the changes, so I'm choosing to walk away. This could also be someone who's not used to you walking away, or it's someone that you've given countless chances to in the past. So the way that you're responding to them in the now could be very new and very confusing and something that they're not used to. The Hierophant, wow. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, but you definitely have someone who is in a very non-committal energy, being inconsistent with you, and now they're wanting something more. They could have also walked away from the situation expecting that you would chase them or want a second chance here. But this is like someone who is having like an ego death, but also like an awakening. Like, this is my reality. I no longer have access to Virgo. And no, Virgo is not going to, come back and initiate a conversation with me. Virgo is tired of the lack of change. And this is someone who's not admitting how much they're thinking about you, how much they want to reconnect here. There's a lot of pride, I will say that. 10 of Wands. What's the Chariot? The Two of Swords. This person's very confused when it comes to where is this connection headed? Am I going to receive an opportunity to talk, speak to Virgo again? But here's what I will say, Virgo. The reason why there's confusion in this person's energy is because they're in a state of denial. They are missing you. They are thinking of you, and the separation is impacting them, but they're not fully accepting it. Two of Swords could be when someone is picking and choosing what they want to see. It could also be, like I said, a level of pride where it's like, well, if I were to reconnect with Virgo, it would mean that everything that they said was right, or I would have to kind of, make my way back around with my tail between my legs, right? But there's a strong energy of this is what I want, or this is the only connection that has made me think about love differently or want something more in a connection where I want to commit, but they're not fully accepting it. Two of Swords, Knight of Wands. Like, there could be something that they're doing to distract themselves from feeling these emotions, but best believe this separation is impacting them very heavily. But there's, again, the Chariot card is about acceptance, right? It's being clarified by the Two of Swords. There's something here that they're failing to accept. There's something here that they do not want to acknowledge, which is what is creating an energetic block. And another thing that I think that is bothering this person is they genuinely felt like this would be just another separation and just another connection that didn't work out, and they could just easily walk away from it. But they're feeling this pull here. They're still feeling very drawn to you. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Okay, guys, so we have the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Cancer, and we have the Emperor. Huh. What I see here, Libra, is like Four of Cups can be someone who's not happy in the current dynamic, or they're not present. Like there's too much of a focus on the past or, the future. Like what does the future hold? But with the Emperor, I'm also feeling some sort of resistance. Like this could be someone who is not happy in the current dynamic, and they're wanting a change, but there's something that they're refraining from doing, or there's a level of resistance here, is what I'm sensing. You could be thinking of someone who's in like a position of authority, or they have some sort of an image to maintain as well. Okay, how is this person feeling about Libra? Yeah, not satisfied in the current moment, but also feeling like, what do I do about it? Or even if they know what to do, it's not the most action-oriented energy. So let's see what's going on here. Ten of Swords, okay. Followed by the Page of Wands. So there could have been an ending between you and this person. The Ten of Swords could be read as like betrayal or some form of disrespect, but it's usually just like a painful ending that someone is still accepting, or, an ending that is still impacting someone on a mental level. But with the Page of Wands, I do see that this person is wanting to communicate with you. So some of you could be communicating with them as you're watching my read. But the Page of Wands is usually it's like a lighthearted energy. Someone who's coming in to almost like test the waters with you, see where you stand, and just keeping things more lighthearted and not really digging beneath the surface here. The Six of Pentacles. This could be a kind gesture, or someone who wants to prove to you that they're, invested in this connection here. But I'm also getting a strong energy as someone who feels either like they're not doing enough, or there's like a mentality of lack with that Four of Cups that we did see. So even if it's someone who's connecting with you and they're showing you that they're invested, or they're, putting forth the time and effort, there's like a mentality of lack, or an energy of I could be doing more, or I don't know if this is enough. And for some reason, Libra, I'm also getting someone who's questioning your interest towards them. I'm picking up on that intuitively. Whether it's because there's, the communication is not as consistent, or maybe there's something else in your life that requires most of your focus this week. There is an energy of, does Libra care, or are we on the same page here? Ten of Pentacles. This could be someone that you were in a higher level of commitment with, or that could just be something that you guys spoke about. But I'm getting a strong energy of someone who wants to work something out with you, but they're curious to know if you guys are on the same page, if you're wanting the same thing that they're wanting. But this could be someone who refrains refrains from communicating what they really want with you, or they try to kind of ask you specific questions to figure you out instead of just being direct about what they want here. But I think it stems from a place of insecurity, or like a mentality of lack, like I mentioned. Feeling like they want what they can't have, or something doesn't feel realistic to them, at least not in the current moment. It's the Page of Wands, the Justice card. Okay, what's the Six of Pentacles? Hierophant. Okay. So Ten of Pentacles, Hierophant, Justice card. This could be someone who's connected elsewhere, and that could be the block here. Because here's what I was getting, Libra. With the Four of Cups in particular, that's like someone who is, sitting in an energy where they're not happy, but they're not doing anything about it. Okay. Ten of Pentacles, Hierophant, Justice card. Yes, it could be someone who's committed elsewhere, or there are other things or other situations that they feel entitled to. With the Emperor, this could be someone who, runs multiple businesses, for example. And so they are feeling connected to you, but they don't know if they can make the time for a connection. It doesn't always have to be, someone who is married, or a third party interference doesn't have to be another lover. But what I see is, in the current energy, their responsibilities, or the situation that they're in, they're not fond of. They are thinking of you and they're reaching out to you, but with the Six of Pentacles, that could be giving to more than one situation, or trying to maintain a lot at once. What's the Ten of Pentacles? The Queen of Pentacles. Justice card. The Empress, wow, which is your energy. This could also be someone where they're having some sort of like financial constraints, or this could be like a business partner or someone that they are tied to through assets, but the way that they're perceiving you as someone who makes them happy, someone where they want to birth something new with you. They're viewing you as the entire package here, but they're also feeling this huge energetic block. And I don't feel completely safe saying that they're fully invested in this situation here, because Six of Pentacles is their energy is still going to another situation. They still feel like they have to maintain more than one thing at once. King of Cups. Connecting with you is, something that is very emotionally fulfilling. They're viewing you as wish fulfillment. But I think what they're wanting more is to have some sort of a heart-to-heart conversation with you, hoping that you can understand where they're coming from, or hoping that you can understand the situation that they're in. And what's interesting is they feel like the situation that they're in is something that's going to be very difficult for you to understand or fully accept. And the Ten of Swords being the first card in their feelings could also be, I can't have this new beginning without this brutal ending. There may be some sort of like a separation, an ending, or just like destruction, like needing to let go of a foundation in order to be with you that they're not able to fully accept. King of Cups, Ace of Swords. Yeah, I think they want to be honest about their feelings towards you, but more importantly, I think they want to express the situation that they're currently in. And they could even express to you or something along the lines of, I do feel for you, but I can't act on those emotions. Or I do want something more with you, but I feel stuck in, said situation. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Empress on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra or a Taurus. And we have Virgo energy as well with the Hermit. What's behind the Empress? The Four of Pentacles. Someone is very attracted to you, Scorpio. Okay, highly attracted to you, but there is also like, they're also viewing you in kind of like a mysterious energy, like they don't know much about you, or you are someone with, where you have layers and they're always constantly learning something new about you. But I'm strongly getting like viewing you as someone that they feel very attracted to, connected to, but they may feel like they don't really know you or they want to know you on a deeper level. Like something may feel a little bit surface level here, or again, mystery is the word that I'm getting. Like they could view you in a very mysterious energy, someone who doesn't really open up easily, or you do more listening than speaking, that sort of thing. But what they can pick up on is like you have gone through your fair share of battles in the past. Like they feel like, what you have gone through in the past has shaped you into who you are today. For example, if you don't open up easily, they can sense that you've endured some sort of pain, or you have trouble with trusting people because of your, past experiences here. The reason I say that, guys, is because the Hermit is, it's symbolic for wisdom. So they're viewing you as someone who's very wise, but it's usually wisdom that is gained through experience. It's not necessarily like theoretical knowledge, right? So how does this person feel about Scorpio? Some of you, like there could be an age gap between the both of you, or like something about being a lot more mature than your age group. Like you could have an old soul, or they just feel like you're very, very mature for your age. Not that age has anything to do with maturity, but that's how the message is coming through here. Again, maturity comes from experience, and they're viewing you as someone who's, very experienced despite your age. Nine of Swords and the Judgment. This is someone who's thinking about you very heavily this week, Scorpio. I'm also getting a strong energy of like loss of appetite or loss of sleep or not feeling like themselves. So they could feel a bit anxious when they're thinking about you or the situation this week. With the Judgment card, that's symbolic for a really large change. This person could be waking up to this connection and what they want with you. But that card usually comes out when there is something that you need to release or let go of as well. I think that meeting you or connecting with you is something that feels very unexpected. I also feel like this is someone who did not know that they were going to fall for you so deeply or so quickly. Like something happened, much more quickly than they anticipated it to. And they're almost in a space where they're like, okay, well, I wasn't prepared for this to happen. But, what do I do moving forward? The Lovers, wow. So some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. They feel like you guys met for a reason. This is someone who feels like connecting with you has illuminated parts of themselves that they were either suppressing or that weren't visible to them in the past here. There could be like a void that is resurfacing for this person, or there could be parts of themselves that they're realizing they need to work on, but it wasn't visible to them until they started connecting with you. There could also be some sort of major differences between you and this person, but they still feel very connected to you. Or there could be something that's not necessarily, considered conventional when it comes to this connection here. 10 of Cups, 9 of Swords. So this person is viewing you as their end-all be-all, but what's interesting is the 10 of Cups is clarifying the 9 of Swords. So what this person is stressing out about is creating something more with you, moving into a higher level of commitment. It's either they feel like they're feeling these emotions so intensely, so early on, or they're trying to make sense of what they feel and they're hoping that things are going to work out the way that they want them to, because their emotions or how they feel towards you is very intense. But I also feel like there's like a fear of rejection or a fear of something not working out the way that it's playing out in their mind. 4 of Cups. This could be someone who's questioning your interest as well, Scorpio. And 4 of Cups in the Judgment could be when you energetically sense that something is changing or there's potential, but in the current moment, whether it's because there's a stagnant energy or there's more, dwelling or thinking going on than doing, there's something here that doesn't feel so realistic. Like they're wanting something more with you, Scorpio, right? And they're wanting to do more or be more invested in this connection. But with the 4 of Cups, it's like, am I enough? Or is this going to work out the way that I want it to? There's a little bit of doubt here is the best way for me to express what's going on in their feelings. And I don't want to say that it's someone who's viewing you as like out of their league or they're degrading themselves, but I do feel like there's a mentality of lack here. There is an energy of, am I able to provide for Scorpio? Or am I going to be what Scorpio desires, what they want? And this is someone who's falling for you very quickly, but there's also a level of resistance or saying, okay, I'm moving too quickly. I need to refrain, or I need to, withdraw or hold myself back here. What's the Lovers? The Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles could be like a small offer, but it has the potential to grow into something larger. And so I do see them offering you something, but internally they're hoping that it's enough. Internally they're hoping that it's something that you would want to accept. And either this person feels like they're not as experienced as you or like as established as you. So it's someone who wants to feel like they're offering you enough. It's someone who wants to feel like they are enough when it comes to, being a partner for you or being, in a connection with you. 10 of Cups, the Hierophant. Wow. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, but what they want is to move to a higher level of commitment. They want more certainty in the dynamic between the both of you. They don't want to question things. They don't want to wonder, does Scorpio feel the same way about me? They want to know that you guys are on the same page. And this is someone who feels very deeply connected to you, even to the point where their emotions kind of instill some sort of, I don't want to say fear, but it's scaring them in a way, because it's like, this is how I feel, but if it doesn't work out, I would feel really let down, or I would feel very hurt. 10 of Pentacles. What's the Page of Pentacles? 2 of Cups. Wow. I see this person, not only do they want a higher level of commitment, this is exactly what they're working towards. They're fully accepting how they feel towards you, even though there's a fear of rejection, even though there's a fear of, well, this could go left, or Scorpio could not feel the same way. But I don't see that stopping them from pursuing you. They're very determined. We have the Hierophant, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Cups, which is someone who feels like they're in love with you. And the Lovers, kind of like, I don't know, or there are certain things that don't make sense about this connection in the now, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to make sense moving forward. So they're allowing, themselves to feel the confusion. They feel like there are, questions right now where things are up in the air when it comes to this dynamic, but they want to get to a space where they know that the both of you are on the same page. And this is someone who most certainly wants to build with you. The other thing I will say here, Scorpio, if you and this person are conversing, you guys are connecting, you're going out on dates and everything's smooth, this could also just be letting me know that this is someone who wants to be exclusive. Like they want to put a title on what you guys have. And that could be something that you guys have not discussed in the past, but it's definitely something that they're going to bring up here. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Five of Cups. It seems to me that there's a level of disappointment that this person feels. Five of Cups could be, yes, disappointment, or someone who feels like they let you down in one way or another. And with the Knight of Swords, I wonder if this is someone who feels like they spoke too soon, or they didn't think about something thoroughly prior to acting on it. And now there is regret surrounding that, action or decision. Okay, let's see. How is this person feeling about Sagittarius? Let's see. Okay, so we have the Two of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles. Someone who's trying to be rational, but what's interesting is with the Two of Cups being the first card in their feelings, it's someone who definitely has a lot of love for you and admires you, but they're trying to make sense of their emotions. So I'll give you an example. Like if this is someone that you're newly connecting with, they could feel like they're developing emotions for you, but they can't put their finger on why. Or something is progressing much more quickly than they thought it would, and it's causing them to feel a little bit like, okay, I need to take a few steps back, or I need to think about something thoroughly. Now, yes, they feel like they are in love with you with the Two of Cups, but with the Seven of Pentacles, that's a strong energy of looking at a situation and asking yourself if it's worth the investment. So the feelings are there, but there could be something that doesn't feel realistic in the current moment, or there's a lack of stability in the situation. And as much as they want that to change, they're looking at things from more of a realistic perspective. So they're not trying to plant any false hope in their mind. They're looking at the situation and saying, okay, is this something that could be altered, or am I getting ahead of myself? Something about online communication as well. So this person could be reaching out to you online. The Two of Wands, planning for the future, wondering what does the future hold? What are we working towards? Where am I going to be, with Sagittarius when it comes to a month from now or 3 months from now? There's a genuine concern about the future of this connection here. And this could be someone who feels like they need to have some sort of a plan in place as well. So not wanting to wing it or just go with the flow, wanting to have some sort of a plan, right? In order to attain stability with you. But I feel like even though this person feels very drawn to you, they're asking themselves why. So there could be something very different about this connection, or something that doesn't really feel familiar. So they're trying to make sense of these emotions that are coming up here, or these emotions that they're developing for you. Okay, the Sun card. You make this person extremely happy. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo. But I also feel like they're viewing you as someone who exudes like a very youthful energy. like you do what you want. It could also be that they feel that they can be themselves around you. The Sun card could also touch on like healing your inner child. So connecting with you could, again, help this person, or it's helping this person heal their inner child, whether that's something that you're aware of or not. And the Sun also touches on clarity, illumination, and it's clarifying the Two of Cups. So how this person feels towards you, or these intense emotions that are resurfacing, it's definitely something that they can't ignore or run away from. It's hitting them full throttle. Are they trying to make sense of it? Yes, but they're also acknowledging it. Even if it's something that they were trying to dismiss in the past, again, I don't think that it's something that they're running from in the current moment. Queen of Pentacles. This is someone who's viewing you as their version of an ideal partner. You could be very independent, or there's something that you have attained for yourself by yourself, and they're aware of that as well. But they're viewing you to be in like a very stable energy, someone who, head on your shoulders, you know what you want, you have a plan here, and they really want to invest in you. And the Queen of Pentacles clarifying the Seven of Pentacles is someone who could be viewing you as someone who's very careful with who you invest your time and energy in, whether this is visible to them because you are someone with like a very small social circle, right? Or maybe you are someone who's very well acquainted with many people, but not a lot of people have access to the real you, or the part of you that is, or the part of you that maybe you don't show to others. Like, this is someone who views you as, yes, you're a good person, you connect with, a lot of people, or you are someone that a lot of people want to be around, but you are very careful when it comes to making the choice of, who am I going to allow into my, inner circle? Who do I really trust? Because in traditional tarot, the Queen of Pentacles, she's holding on to the pentacle because she's being very careful about, where do I want to put this pentacle? Where do I want to invest it? And I strongly feel that this is how this person is viewing you. So even if you're conversing with them, they feel like there's a side to you that they don't know. This is not in a negative way. This is just in a way where they know you're very cautious with who you allow into your life and who you trust. Queen of Wands. They find you to be very attractive. There could be something very different about you, or something very like what you do for work could be very different. But they admire you. They admire your, confidence, the way that you carry yourself. But I think that it's also someone who's trying to make sense of the emotions that they're feeling. Trying to operate from more of like a logical perspective, not wanting to get up in their head about something or get ahead of themselves. Five of Swords. There could be a tad bit of mental conflict here, where they're going back and forth about what they want to say or what they want to do. And Five of Swords could also be like when you're in your own way, right? Like something seems more complex in their mind, or more difficult to do in their mind than the reality of the situation. What's the Five of Swords? The Four of Swords. The silence could be impacting them, or the fact that there's a lack of action. Like, for example, if this is a connection that's very on and off, or they take action towards you and then there's some sort of like a pause, that could be something that they're becoming very tired of. Kind of like, I'm ready for, to move forward, or I want consistent progress between Sagittarius and I. What's the Queen of Pentacles? The Six of Pentacles. So definitely someone who wants to invest in this situation with you. This could also be like someone who is gifting you something this week. Queen of Wands, King of Cups. What's the King of Cups? The Empress. They see potential. They see what the both of you could attain together. But the King of Cups could be someone who's really wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. They want to open up to you emotionally. But what I will say is they feel like there's some sort of a barrier, or even if you're connecting with them, right, guys, it doesn't mean that you're not speaking to them, because you could be speaking to someone and they could still feel a disconnect. What they want is, yes, possibly more consistency and more access to you, but they want access to you on a deeper level. Whether it's they feel, I want to know Sagittarius on a deeper level because I feel like there's a side of them that I don't have access to, or you guys speak to each other and you're aware that you're taking a liking towards this person, but there's a lack of emotional expression. Because Empress and the King of Cups is someone who feels like if they were to open up to you emotionally and the both of you were to have a heart-to-heart conversation, I mean, the possibilities are endless because the Empress is potential, right? So this has not yet occurred, but this is what's going on for them mentally. There's no tangible evidence that you guys could build something together, but this is what they feel intuitively. Some of you could also be dealing with a Libra or a Taurus, okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Five of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Knight of Swords. I see someone reaching out to you, Capricorn, but it's not what you expect, or like there's something in particular that you think they're going to say, but they're telling you something completely different. Like something is not going the way that you thought it would. I don't really see it as negative. It just seems very unexpected. The Five of Wands with the Knight of Swords could also be someone who currently feels very like they're facing a lot of distractions when it comes to their environment or some sort of external influence that is present. Okay, how is this person feeling about Capricorn? Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups and the Magician. Yep, so confirming what I was saying here, something you do not expect. Whether it's like an offer, whether it's a new beginning. And yes, it could be read as new love, so I'm going to clarify the energies that are coming through here. But what I see, Capricorn, is something that you have manifested that is coming into fruition for you. And I see someone offering you their cup of love or expressing how they feel towards you, but for some reason, you do not expect this at all. So I could be picking up on an energy where maybe this person was not open with you in the past, or they struggle to express how they feel. But I see that they're opening up in the current, energy here, the Three of Wands. So this could be someone who's at a distance from you, like physical distance. So this communication or confession could be occurring online. But what I'm seeing is someone who is moving towards you, wanting to feel closer to you. And the Three of Wands is also a card of, planning and strategy. So I think that this is something that they have been planning for a while. Or if they're like reaching out to you, best believe it took them a while to formulate that message. It's not something that they're doing in the spur of the moment. Even though it may feel that way for you, I think that this is someone who has been thinking about you and thinking about how they feel towards you for quite some time prior to actually like acting on it or expressing it to you. Okay. So the Ace of Cups is being clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. So this is powerful. This is an offer that you not only have been manifesting, but you're going to want to accept it. This is someone who sees a very bright future with you. They feel like things could be extremely stable between the both of you. And they're viewing you as like their dream partner. Connecting with you, not only do they feel fulfilled, they're looking at you like almost like someone who ticks off all their boxes here. This is exactly who I want, in it, like as a partner. This is someone that I feel very connected to because I feel like we, share a similar vision. This could be someone that you work with, or there's something pertaining to like stability and finances. So that could be something that you guys are discussing as well. You guys have 3 of the aces here. This might be the most powerful reading that I've done in today's entire video here, guys. I don't think any other sign received 3 aces. This is someone who, it's a very determined energy. This could also feel like a breath of fresh air for you as you're connecting with this person. And I'm also getting intuitively, Capricorn, like if You've been wondering, okay, when am I going to connect with someone that's on the same page as me, right? When am I going to attain something stable for myself? Like, this is what I feel that, what you've manifested is coming into fruition for you. This is someone who's very determined to have something stable with you. They're being very open. They're being very honest. There could be specific questions that they're asking you this week to figure you out on like a deeper level. And if there is physical distance, there could even be communication pertaining to like travel plans here. 3 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, yeah. And what's interesting, guys, is I was saying they're viewing you as like their version of the perfect partner, right? And Queen of Pentacles is, it is associated with that energy, someone viewing you as their like ideal partner. So it's just confirmation here. This is someone who views you as very independent, very well established, or the things that you have are things that you've attained on your own. Something about your strength is being highlighted here. And I mean, some of you could have communicated it to this person, but this person feels like you have gone through a lot of tests in your life where it's like you have had to exercise your patience and strength, and that's very visible to them. Ace of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, someone who's putting forth the effort, someone who's investing in this connection with you. I will say there's something pertaining to either your career or their career that's going to be highlighted in this connection. Whether it's like they admire what you do for work, or if it's they admire what you do for work, but they want to build something with you. Maybe there's a project that they want to work on together. But 8 of Pentacles is someone who's putting forth the practical effort to prove to you that I am invested. I do have a long-term plan in mind. Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands. Many of you, like a very hurtful cycle specifically pertaining to your love life, is coming to an end. An energy of feeling very burdened or feeling like you are not being chosen. You have someone here who is accepting you for who you are. And not just accepting you for who you are. That is what's drawing them towards you. That is what's that's what's causing them to want to invest in you. Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, they're viewing you in a very independent energy, but 9 of Pentacles, it's a very beautiful energy to be viewed in, because it's like, you're doing things on your own. You're able to take care of yourself. So a relationship or a person in your life is just a bonus. And something about your independent energy is very, very attractive to this person. They could see a little bit of themselves in you. But what I see is someone who's determined to pursue this connection. They see the potential here. And with 3 aces, in this spread here, I feel like this is definitely new love, or like a completely new start, where it could come off as too good to be true, or something that's a little bit difficult for you to believe in. But I think that it's something that you manifested, even if it was like subconsciously. Like if you were actively going through like a very difficult period, maybe you were just trying to manifest something new for yourself, or you were letting go of certain things, even if they felt very difficult, and you're being rewarded here. This is someone who sees you exactly for who you are, and that's what they're attracted to. There's nothing here that they want to change, except for the fact that they want more than what you guys currently have. And you're definitely going to see an increase in their effort. This is not someone who's nonchalant. This is someone who's going to prove to you that, hey, this is how I feel, and this is what I want moving forward. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. So let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Oh, the moon wanted to pop out there. So I wonder if there's a bit of a discreet energy. Guys, I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on outside. I think it's like a party or something, but I definitely wanted to get this reading out today. So I'm sorry that you guys might be hearing. Really, I don't know what you're hearing, but it's just a bunch of noise. Okay, so 6 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Hermit. And the Moon card did want to pop out here, guys. So I strongly feel like this could be someone who's like not speaking to you, or they're in like a very hidden or discreet energy. You could be thinking of a Virgo. But they're wanting a successful outcome. I also feel like it's someone who wants your attention, but it's a very hidden energy in the current moment. Okay. How is this person feeling about Aquarius? Okay. Okay, guys, so we have the Queen of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. So this is someone who currently feels like an outsider in your life. They feel very deeply towards you, but I'm persistently getting a very hidden energy. So either someone who's not expressing it to you, or someone who feels like they don't have access to you in the current moment, but they're still, feeling very connected to you emotionally. They're still thinking about you. They may also feel pulled in your direction. With the Queen of Cups, that could be a strong energy of like their intuition telling them to, telling them something specific. It's also an energy of following your heart, right? Or a gut feeling that you have. But what I'm sensing is someone who feels a void because there's a lack of communication between the both of you. There could also be an age gap between you and this person. But I'm strongly getting someone who wants to reach out to you, express how they feel towards you, okay? But there is a little bit of resistance or a bit of what's going to happen or how is Aquarian going to respond. This person can't really put their finger on how you feel because they're viewing you in a very detached energy here. Queen of Swords, as I say that. Yeah, what's the Five of Pentacles? The Page of Swords. Okay. So this is someone who's watching you from afar, viewing you as someone who's detached, but they're acknowledging that they still feel connected to you emotionally, and they're wanting to come back around. Five of Pentacles, yes, they feel like an outsider in your life, but it could also be someone who's kind of stuck in a mentality of lack, where it's like, if I were to reach out, would Aquarian respond? Are we on the same page? Does Aquarius feel the same way that I do? Are they even wanting a reconciliation here? And I think that this could be a week where they're like feeding into their pessimistic thoughts, or they're not, like they're having a hard time being optimistic about an outcome, even though that's what they desire. It's almost like what they want, they're not truly believing that they can attain that, or something about it doesn't feel realistic. What's the Page of Cups? The Eight of Pentacles, someone who wants to invest in a connection or prove to you through practical effort that they are still invested and their emotions have not changed. But I also feel with the Queen of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, guys, like this may be someone who doesn't know how to speak to you when you are upset or frustrated. Whether it's because, you are usually the one to kind of like initiate a conversation or smooth things over when maybe there are obstacles, or it's someone who genuinely feels like, okay, Aquarian is detached or they are upset with me, but I don't know what to say to make the situation better. And I don't want to cause more hurt or anger than, what currently exists here. But they really do want to open up to you emotionally. And I strongly feel that it's someone who's really missing you with the Five of Pentacles as well. And they feel that you are very loving and nurturing, but you're also able to kind of like turn that off, or there's some sort of a switch here when you feel, the need to. And so even though they know how to connect with you when things are smooth sailing or when you're, open with them, they know how to connect with you when you're in that space. But when it comes to you detaching or you maybe even communicating what's upsetting you, they're trying to figure out what to say. Like their choice of words. That's something that's really impacting them mentally and emotionally. Wanting to make peace with you. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, but the Temperance is wanting to make peace or wanting to come to, a mutual understanding here. This could be someone who felt upset in the past, but they want to make something up to you or make amends here in the current energy. What's the Page of Swords? The Fool card, seeking a new beginning here. Yes, they're worried, but I don't think that that's going to outweigh their desire to work something out with you. But I'm feeling a strong energy of someone who's like fearing your response. Fearing your response or fearing that you won't respond at all. Because the way that they're viewing you is back turned towards a situation. Very detached, but they're not willing to give up on the connection as well. Despite how they're viewing you. The Sun card. You are someone who makes them very happy. Some of you could be thinking of a Leo, but with the Fool card as well as the Sun card, that's a very strong energy, or I should say a strong desire for a new beginning, a successful beginning. And not wanting to give up on this connection because they are viewing you as wish fulfillment. The Sun card, the Seven of Pentacles, and the King of Wands, a determined energy. King of Wands is like pursuing or going after what you want without being, sidetracked by anything else. So yes, they're facing a bit of doubt or negative thoughts, but I think that they're still going to come forward and, reconnect with you. I think the main block or the fear that they feel here is that you are not on the same page, or you are not going to respond to them, or you are going to be very cold when they reach out. There is a fear of that, but I don't think it's going to stop them from reaching out. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. By the way, guys, my apologies for the noise. Okay, there's something going on outside. So if you're hearing all that noise, my apologies, guys. But I wanted to make sure I got this reading out today. So let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be thinking of a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And we have the Death card, Scorpion energy. First and foremost, I think that this is someone who's, highly attracted to you, but it's also a very determined energy when it comes to either pursuing something new with you or expressing their emotions and passion towards you. With the Death card, there could be some sort of an ending that this person is going through, even if it's internal. It doesn't necessarily have to be, something external or in their environment here. Let's see. I'm also getting here, Pisces, this is specific, but someone could be like letting go of their ego or pride, or they feel like that is something that has controlled or determined their actions in the past, and they're no longer wanting to progress in that manner, if that makes sense. Like if they refrained from expressing their emotions towards you because of their pride, then that's something that they want, like they're actively working on. They may even feel like because of their pride, there has been a missed opportunity between the both of you. The King of Swords, okay? And the Two of Swords. You have someone here who's trying to like figure you out or decode you, but they're very confused. This could also be someone who feels like they were in a state of denial for quite some time, because the Two of Swords could be when you're picking and choosing what you want to focus on, picking and choosing what you want to accept. And King of Swords being the first card in their feelings, I mean, this could be someone that you are currently in a separation with, or they were the one to make a choice to kind of, take a break here, or the reason for the lack of communication could be on their end. But what I see is someone looking at things from more of like a realistic perspective, right? The King of Swords is when you're being very truthful with yourself, when you're trying to get to the bottom of any, underlying issue in the connection here. But I will say that there's like a level of confusion with the Two of Swords, or someone who's trying to figure you out, but they're not really receiving much clarity. There's something here that they don't see clearly, because Two of Swords could also represent like illusions. Even if there's something that seems to be true in their mind, it's not the reality of the situation. So they could be waiting for like the dust to settle, or they're waiting for something to become more clear before acting on their emotions towards you. The Six of Wands. They could be doing something this week to kind of like grab your attention, or it's someone who really wants you to focus on them. And someone here could also be in the public eye. The Six of Wands could represent being in the public eye, or someone who just receives a lot of attention, like a popular individual. Page of Pentacles. So I definitely see this person reaching out to you. It could be that they're offering you something small in the current moment, but this card speaks on potential. So like, even if it's a small offer, there's potential for it to, become something larger. There's potential for you guys to build something together, even if it doesn't feel like that in the current moment. What's the Two of Swords? Seven of Wands. They're viewing you in a bit of a defensive energy, or there's something that you are standing by or standing on, where it's like, for example, if in the past you communicated what you wanted from this connection, they're viewing you as someone who is going to, like, you still feel the same way. You're not going to agree with them or change your perspective just for the sake of keeping the peace here. They may also feel like they're having a hard time getting through to you. right? So it doesn't mean that you have this person blocked, but they could be trying to figure out like the right thing to say, like their choice of words or how to communicate with you. And there is some sort of a block that they feel when it comes to that. What's the Six of Wands? The High Priestess. They are viewing you in a silent energy. I mean, there definitely could be a lack of communication and they're reaching out to you after a period of stagnation. But the High Priestess is also someone who's viewing you as there's a lot that's going on for you mentally and emotionally, a lot that you were able to figure out about them, but you're not necessarily communicating it. The High Priestess is like knowing more than you show. So they could feel like there's a little bit of mystery surrounding you, or you are capable of figuring things out on your own, or there is a lot more going on for you internally than what you're showing on the outside. But even though they're intuitively picking up on this, they don't really have like tangible evidence. This is someone who could also be viewing you as like very like intuitive, very like emotionally intelligent as well. But they just feel like you keep a lot to yourself, or it takes a lot for you to open up. Like you don't trust people or situations very easily. The Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is someone who feels like they've been held back for quite some time, but what they're wanting is for things to be more stable between the both of you. And really more tangible, because it seems to me that this connection has been stagnant for quite some time here and there was a lack of action. What's the Seven of Wands? The Page of Cups, okay. And the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles. So working towards stability, but it's not going to be like an overnight process. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. This is a confession, an incoming emotional confession. Someone letting you know that they do admire you. But the block that I feel with the Two of Swords and the Seven of Wands is needing to accept a situation for what it is. This may be someone who is in a state of denial. Or like I mentioned in the past, they could have been operating from a space of ego or pride, but that is what they're altering, or that is what they're working through in the current moment. What's the Ten of Pentacles? The Eight of Pentacles and the Lovers. Yeah, someone who's working on this connection or putting forth practical effort. So if it was someone who was expressing how they feel towards you in the past, but they weren't really doing much to get this connection off the ground, that's where you're going to see the change in the current moment. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. But I also feel with the Eight of Pentacles and the Lovers, they're very focused on equal give and take, reciprocity here. I hope that, Pisces and I are able to meet each other halfway. I hope that when I start investing, it's going to be something that is, coming back to me as well. Like I'm giving to this connection, but I'm receiving from it as well. They're just hoping that you guys are on the same page here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys this week. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.